was munching fries sitting in the school cafeteria when Zik and Milo joined me. "Did you hear about the weeping woman?" Zik asked. I took a big bite of my chocolate cookie and scoffed. "Shut up, Zik. We all know tomorrow's April 1st, so whatever prank you and Milo are trying to pull won't work." Zik got defensive, saying his neighbor's son saw this middle-aged anemic woman in the abandoned tunnel near the broken railroad. When he saw her, he just ran for his life. He said the woman had no eyelids or lips. I still refused to believe him because I was certain this was some stupid prank, but Zik kept mocking me, saying I was not brave enough to go there and blah blah blah. Fast forward, we were on our way home after school when Zik again started talking about this scary woman. Our argument went on, and suddenly, Zik declared whoever would go to that tunnel right now and record a video will get a free bucket of KFC chicken nuggets tomorrow. I thought Milo would say yes right away because the only thing that motivated him was food, but to my surprise, he was hesitating. At that moment, I knew these two were in this together. They just want me to go there and get spooked so they can tell everyone how easily I fell for their April Fool. So, I accepted the challenge. I told them to go home. Meanwhile, I started walking toward the woods. My plan was simple: go to the tunnel, record myself roaming around for 10-15 minutes, and then return home. As I walked, I kept looking back to make sure if Zeke or Milo was following me. FYI, they weren't. The railroad used to be a way of transportation for coal miners before the war. I've been there a few times with my dad to collect rare plants for our garden. That place has become a low-maintenance sanctuary. Honestly, when I reached the spot, the sun had already gone down. The huge abandoned tunnel lay in front of me. I turned the flashlight on my phone to see in the dark. The tunnel is not very long, probably 30 feet, so the end of it was clearly visible. I began recording myself. Trees and ivy branches had curved the tunnel into a greenhouse. I could see bats hanging from above. Drops of rainwater were falling from the roof. A damp smell of rotten leaves and dead rats surrounded the air inside. I walked around a bit and took some selfies. 10 minutes passed, and I still had not seen the woman with missing eyelids. I sent a voice message to Zik, asking him to buy me those nuggets. I was all set to return home when I heard something moving in the corner. I assumed it was a rat. But as I got closer, I found a headless bat. He was having his final shudders of death. A small pool of blood was beneath it. Gruesome, huh? I immediately jumped. There was a homeless man in his late 40s, his face contorted into a grin while he repeated, "Pretty gruesome, huh?" I was a little shaken by his sudden appearance, but still maintained a poker face. Didn't you hear you come? Just like that bat didn't hear the predator when it came for it. I forced a nervous chuckle and said, "Haha, you're funny." He stopped smiling, then waddled close to that headless bat and stomped on it. "Better to put it out of its misery," he muttered, closing his eyes. Ghost of a woman or not, I was a second away from wetting my pants. I've often seen those scary stories where people start to run after facing a possible psycho or serial killer, and in 99 of those cases, they get chased. I was so scared that I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to make it out alive if I ran. So I put on a courageous face and said, "Well, it's getting late. Miam will be worried." I turned around, keeping my body language as casual as possible, and started to walk. Did I try to look back to see if he was following me? I didn't have to. A few seconds later, I noticed the homeless man strolling alongside me. "So what were you doing here anyway?" Just exploring." What is there to explore here?" I kept going, and so did he. The tunnel now was feeling never-ending to me. "Nothing. Just a casual stroll," I muttered. My throat was so dry in fear that it got difficult for me to speak clearly. He was matching my pace, perhaps a bit too closely, such that our shoulders nearly brushed against one another. I calculated every move because somehow I felt the only way out was to be normal about this whole scenario. Sweat dripped from my forehead, yet I was terrified to wipe it. The man chuckled, saying, "You sweat a lot? Or are you just scared?" I glanced at him. Still didn't stop. "If I stop, I die," I thought. I replied, keeping my cool as much as possible. "No, it's just hot in here." We were almost at the other end of the tunnel. I could see the reflecting glim of the distant street light. My hopes were rising, confident that I would survive. Just then, when we were about to step out of the tunnel, the man blocked my way. My heart pounded with anticipation. Our eyes locked. I was in tears, but he didn't blink, not once. Then he leaned closer. He whispered, "Don't end up like that bat, kiddo. I'll see you around." He then passed on something squishy into my hand, and I couldn't even refuse. I just grasped whatever the hell he gave me like his puppet and ran. I stopped once I reached home. I broke down on the porch, panting and gasping for air. My hand was still closed, holding something wet and squishy in it. I slowly opened it and let out a blood-curdling scream. It was the severed head of that bat.